without electricity, and that can test anyone's patience. But imagine if your health or your livelihood depended on power.
And for some people, it did. Their frustration turned to protest and hope that their picket signs would get DP&L to turn the lights back on sooner. And for some people, it seemed to work.
Outside Fairwood Village, which is Fairfield Road here in Beaver Creek, and you can see it's pretty quiet here. Quite a difference from Friday.
DP&L does not care about seniors. I'm only 90, so I'm a senior.
After nearly a week without power, these Beaver Creek senior citizens had had enough.
Every day people get just a little more frustrated.
So with homemade signs, they picketed DP. But now here inside the facility, the power is finally back on.
I shouted, lights.
The power at the independent living community came on around 9 o'clock Friday evening, but some are still feeling the drain.
I've been pretty tired because I had problems with my oxygen. It's very hard to change those big tanks in the dark.
And they say they feel bad for those still waiting.
Just hang in there, you'll get it sometime.
Oh, good luck. I hope they get to them right away.
And those here say they're just hoping to never see a windstorm like the one that caused all this ever again. In Beaver Creek, Jill Del Greco, News Center 7.
It's a resounding show of support for a business that feels it's been forgotten in all of DP&L's power restoration efforts.
4 or 5 days we could have been okay, but it's been too long. You know, no one's talked to us. We tried to get a hold of DP&L. No one would tell us anything.
No customers have walked through the doors at Treasure Island Supper Club in more than a week because there's no power.
Everything is gone. We've cleaned out every cooler. Everything that was perishable is gone.
And since the only action in the kitchen right now is employees cleaning out those coolers, who work for tips can't work right now.
And we got some girls that are out of power and, you know, still themselves, power and jobs. You know, and they would, at least if they could go to work, they had something.
Customers looking for lunch or dinner have had to go elsewhere.
It's sad that they're closed, but I think that DP&L is doing a great job.
This protest indicates Treasure Island employees think otherwise about DP&L, and they say all they can do right now is prepare for when the power does come back on.
They want this place up and running, so when we do get power, we won't be down that much longer to try to get things back in order.
Brittany McGraw, News Center 7.
In this West Carrollton neighborhood, just like almost every other neighborhood in the Miami Valley, trees down along the curbs from all of the storm damage, but the people on this side of the street have power. The problem is the people on the other side without any juice.
I've called all week long.
Dave Geeter's calls for help have not been answered. Now he's on the 9th day of frustration.
But you have your limitations, you know, and I've about reached mine.
Geeter says the problem for hundreds of people in his neighborhood this Monday morning is the same as last Monday morning. A tree in the alley behind his house down and twisted into the wires. The impact sent the voltage racing through the lines, and at the corner it burned a number of wires together, leading to fried fragments just hanging from the power pole. And he spent most of the week on hold. He doesn't want to any talk about a DP&L.
DP&L are going to reimburse me for, you know, every other day $50 in gasoline just to keep my food and phone going.
For now, the people here would just like to hear more talk about hooking them up with power. Mike Campbell, News Center 7.
Nicole Dobson sleeps under the watch of her princess. But this princess has lived anything but a fairy tale life.
Nicole is a 1 pound, 23-week baby.
Doctors gave her a week to live. Today, 5 years later, Nicole weighs just 35 pounds. She's blind, deaf, and has cerebral palsy. She needs a feeding tube with special milk because she has an enlarged heart, liver, and lungs. She's been through nearly 80 surgeries, including one on her stomach just last week.
When the power went, we had no indication if the heart was up, the heart was down, if she was breathing.
This was Nicole on Sunday night. After a week without the machines that helped keep her alive, she was fighting to survive.
I knew when her eyes was getting, black, she was getting weak from not eating.
Mom Michelle says Nicole was supposed to be on a power restoration priority list because of her medical needs.
I called and told them, and they just said have patience, and my was running thin because I was going to lose my daughter that I fought for 5 years to keep alive.
But then, after Nicole's story aired Sunday night, DP&L workers showed up with this in tow, a company generator to get Nicole and her machines plugged back in.
It was like winning the lotto.
Michelle says it saved Nicole's life, a second chance for a child who was never supposed to have a happy ending.
How long she has, I don't know, but the time I have with her right now is the time that I'm counting on and keeping her going.
Catherine Burcham, News Center 7.
Amid the protest and frustration, there were stories of people helping each other, of people opening their doors to those in need. Proof that this community pulls together in time of crisis. Stories you don't want to miss when we come back.